Hi guys, Barbara here. I wanted to make this quick video to update you guys on the health issue that I've been dealing with. I debated whether to put the video at the cooking channel or at my vlog channel because I don't have a lot of subscribers at my vlog channel. But because I want the cooking channel to be primarily about cooking and food and stuff, I decided to throw it here, and then I'll put a link from one of the videos or something so you guys can come see. And as we progress with new videos that I'm going to record, I'm going to update you guys as, like briefly as to what's going on and how I'm doing, okay? But I want to get into the details of what's going on. First of all, I want you guys to know that I've always suffered with dizzy spells. As far back as I can remember, as my late teenage years into early 20s. And when I was in my late 20s, I finally got a diagnosis of Meniere's disease. Now, the doctor was kind of reluctant to give me that diagnosis because one of the main symptoms that come with Meniere's is deafness, and I don't have any hearing loss at all, thankfully. So I do have the ringing and the dizzy spells. Now, because of what happened 3 weeks ago, I recently found out the difference between dizzy spells and vertigo. Apparently, dizzy spells is when you feel like you're standing and you feel kind of dizzy and you feel like you're going to pass out, or lightheadedness. The vertigo, on the other hand, is where you feel like the whole room is spinning, like a whirling sensation. So I would say in the past I've always had the dizzy spells. So back when they diagnosed me with Meniere's, what they did was they lowered my sodium intake to 1,000 milligrams a day. Don't you guys go and do that on your own, okay? Because that has to be done under the supervision of a doctor, because it's very dangerous to lower your salt intake too much, okay? So they did that, and then they told me to be careful of anything that has MSG in it, because that makes you retain water. So I guess every time you retain fluid, it affects me differently than it would affect somebody else. It goes straight to my inner ear and it throws off my balance and so on and so on. Now, the remedy for that, what they discovered, was to take like a diuretic. And I took that for maybe 8 years. I took diuretics. Then I weaned myself off of them and just monitored my food. And that's part of the reason why I created the cooking show, because I want to be able to control what I eat. And I get stressed out when I get invited to a party and it's going to be potluck and stuff like that, because inevitably somebody will bring like a chicken from the store or something, a rotisserie chicken, and they throw all kind of MSG type spices and stuff on those chickens to preserve them and stuff, to make them go longer in the store. So I can't eat those, and people get offended, and then they'll open beans from a can, and I hate potlucks. Sometimes when I go to potlucks, I bring a meat dish, a carb, a vegetable, everything, just so I can eat a little bit of my own food. So, but anyways, I want you guys to know that I've always suffered those symptoms, and I've kept it under control with food. So 3 weeks ago, today makes 3 weeks. 3 weeks ago, this other thing happened. I was sleeping right here. I sleep on this side of the bed. And I got up earlier to use the bathroom, and then an hour and a half later, I woke up and didn't expect anything to be wrong. And I just kind of hopped out of bed, to get my day started. And then, boom, I heard like this loud pop in the back of my head, and the whole room started spinning out of control. So I screamed for Joe. He was already in the living room getting his morning started. He ran in and he thought I was having a stroke. I thought I was having a stroke. It was so scary. So anyways, it subsided and I went to work, and I noticed like if I bend down to pick up something off the floor at work, I would feel like, woo, like I'm going. But it wasn't like really, really horrible, but I felt something was out of sorts. And then it wasn't until that night when I came and I laid back down for bed that night to lay backwards. Oh my God, the whole spinning thing again, to lay on the left side again. The only side that I could lay on was the right side. And so then, I'm sorry, I got a frog in my throat. And so then the rest of the week continued, and I thought it could be an inner ear infection. And so I started treating it with home remedies. And because I did have like some soreness in the ear, and I had like, it felt like creepy crawlers were in there or something. And so I started treating it at home. And then it was like a week later when I could hardly stand. I looked like a drunk when I was at work with Joe, and he shut the machines down and he says, no more foolishness with this. I'm going to take you to the ER right now, because what if you're having something else? What if the inner ear infection is so bad that you're going to get deaf or something like that? So he got scared. He took me to the ER, and what a waste of time that was. The ER is dealing with strokes and heart attacks and stuff like that. They don't have no foolishness for somebody with dizzy spells. As long as they check your blood pressure and your blood pressure is fine, they're like, you're good. So, and then they know that I have a history of Meniere's. They're like, oh, it's your Meniere's. So they wrote me a script for diuretics, because I haven't been on the diuretics for like 8 years. And they wrote me a script for it, and then they put me through the door and say, it's your Meniere's acting up here. Take this diuretic and be on your way. So that puts me into the second week of what I've been going through. So I found out that I could function most of the day, and then if I turned my head kind of funny, I don't even know what direction was funny, it would trigger it off, and pretty soon I'm down for the day, because the minute the dizzy spell hit, or the vertigo hit, it would go like right to my stomach, and I would be so nauseous the rest of the day, kind of like when you're riding on a boat or something. And so I went on a diet of just whey protein shake and whole grain crackers. That's the only thing that I could keep down. And it was just really, really horrid. And I can't believe that I did like 4 shows while I was going through this mess. I did the one with the cabbage, the one with the tuna fish balls, the chili cheese dip, and there was another one in there. I can't remember what it is. But I can't believe I did, a bread, a loaf bread. I did all those shows when I was dealing with that. And of course, when I was doing the shows, I didn't have the symptoms going. I made sure that they subsided that day before I jumped in there and did the shows. But that just shows you how much I love doing the YouTube cooking show. And you know what? I have an awesome family, because my kids, they rallied around me. They had no shame in me holding onto their arm to walk in the street. They had no shame in taking me to the bathroom, and just helping me with everything. The laundry. You would be surprised at how many things you do throughout the course of the day that involves you leaning one way or the next, right? Even to like make the bed. I'm making the bed and then I lean over that side to get a pillow or something. And to put away the dishes, like when I try to go into the higher shelves, I would go backwards, and it was like, oh, hold on. And to bend down to get the baking pans and stuff to do the show. And like I said, to take laundry from the washer to the dryer, I tend to lean to the left more because the dryer's over there. But anyways, it was pretty bad. And I finally went to the chiropractor in the second week, because I thought it could be TMJ related issues, because I do have some trouble with that, or a neck issue. And he adjusted the TMJ in the upper back and stuff, and so those pains went away, because I was having some pains back here. Changed my pillow, did everything I can do. And I remember being in the chiropractor's office, and he had me turn to my left because he was going to adjust my lower back, and I forgot. I guess I was having a pretty good day that day. I forgot I couldn't turn to the left. And when that dizzy spell or the vertigo hit me, I grabbed onto that man for dear life. He must have been so scared. But then I went back now to the doctors yesterday. I went back to this little clinic that I go to near the shop. Got a really, really good doctor. I'm not too familiar with this clinic, because this is not where I normally go, for my visits. I'm in the process of getting the Affordable Health Care Act insurance, and so I'm going to be back at my old doctors in a little while. But so I went to this clinic because, they took the emergency medical or whatever that I have. Got a really, really sweet doctor that listened to me. That's the most important thing that you want in a doctor, right? She listened. And I told her that we tried to do the Epley maneuver at home, because I suspected, through suggestion of the chiropractor, I suspected that it's BPPV, and that's that benign paroxysmal, I think, positional vertigo. I might be saying one of the words wrong. And that's when the crystals in the inner ear kind of move out of place for some reason or the other, and they're not where they're supposed to be, so they give you the vertigo. And he suspects I had that, but he couldn't diagnose me, of course, because he's not an MD. And she suspected the same thing, and I was actually having a really good day yesterday, and she laid me back to do the Dix Hall Pike test. And that's when they lay you back at a certain degree, and they turn your head at a certain degree to see when the vertigo comes on, if your eye shakes. And of course, my eyes didn't shake when the vertigo came on. But that doesn't even mean anything, because 30% of the people who have BPPV, they don't get the shaky eyes when they're having the vertigo. Of course, it'll be me, because I have everything that's rare. So a lot of you have suggested that I can take antivert type medication to stop the symptoms of the spinning and the nausea, but I can't take those because I actually have a very rare blood deficiency that I was born with. I was born lacking a certain enzyme in my blood, and because of the lack of that enzyme, there's like one big class or family of drugs that I can't have. And of course, it's everything that you need to have, for anything else you can think of that could go wrong with you, So I can't have it. I'm not allergic to the things. I don't break out in hives and stuff, but I have adverse reactions to the drugs, and the reactions are very scary. They're like Bell's palsy, where it looks like I had a stroke. Sometimes I can't breathe. And when I was 18, I had this routine surgery for something that was going on. The surgery itself was routine, but the results for me wasn't, because I stopped breathing basically and had to be put on a ventilator for a while. So, but anyways, I'm always the rare end of everything. So they can't give me any medication for the vertigo or the dizzy spells, and even for the motion sickness, for the nausea. They can't give me anything at all. So I really have been suffering for the past 3 weeks, and I feel so good today, and I think really and truly it's because of this video that I found on YouTube. Thank God for YouTube, you guys. I'm going to show you like a thumbnail so you guys can go look at the video yourself, because I think it's from a medical place and stuff, and I don't want to, you know, do anything wrong about it. But Jada and Jory helped me, and I'm going to show you guys some videos, or insert a clip somewhere so you guys can see that we did the procedure that they showed on that video. And I don't look good in the video, guys. I look like death warmed over. And so anyways, I did that, what do you want to call it, procedure. I did the procedure. It's about some series of head twisting and stuff like that. So I did that procedure 3 different times. I did it twice on Sunday, and I think that's why I had such a good day Monday. And then when they did the test, you know, at the clinic, and she turned my head, and the vertigo came on, then I had a horrible day the rest of the Monday. And then today, Jada did the maneuver with me again last night. And I honestly think that's why I can sit here in front of you guys right now and even tell this story. So now, this is where I'm at. I'm still having issues when I lay completely backwards, especially if the pillow is like really, really low. I'll get like a little spinning, but you know what? The spinning is nowhere near when it first started, and it subsides rather quickly. So I'm not even going to whine and complain about that. When I lay on the right side, I'm perfectly fine. When I go on the left side, it still brings on the vertigo, but I noticed that if the pillow is kind of propped up as high as, I hope you guys can see that pillow back there, as high as that pillow, the vertigo doesn't come on. But if it's lower, kind of like when you're going to go to sleep, then it comes on. So I just don't lay on the left. And so what they're going to do, they took some blood to do labs to make sure my electrolytes and so on are okay, and blood sugar and so on and so on. I don't expect anything wrong with that, because I have things at home here where I check my blood sugar, check my blood pressure, I check everything. And I do that because my parents and Joe's parents have high blood pressure and sugar and all that stuff. So that's why we kind of check ourselves so that we can correct the problem immediately if it comes on, right? So they also are going to have me come back in a week to do a hearing test, of course, right after the day that Jada graduates. Jada graduates on May 27th. And I don't think I'm deaf. I think I hear too much. And so then the next thing they're going to have me do is a CAT scan to rule out anything in the brain, tumors or anything like that. I'm not scared of that. You know, even though I've had 2 family members that have had brain tumors, one died from it, but his tumor started in his lungs and then spread to his brain. I have another cousin that have a benign brain tumor, and she's doing fantastically well. So I don't have any fear about that. But the one thing that I'm not sure I want to do is let them put dye in me when they do the CAT scan. I don't know. I don't trust these things. You know, what if it affects my kidney, right? But anyways, they're going to do all that coming up. I'm going to update you guys right here at this vlog channel as I go along. And every time I put up a new video to update you, I'll make mention of it at the cooking show, so you guys can be aware. But I love you for your support. For those of you who believe in praying, just go ahead and pray for me, because I do believe in prayers. I believe that prayers conquer everything. Today I've been meditating on I don't know if it's all, but many of the healing scriptures in the Bible, and just going through, just claiming my victory. For those of you who don't believe in prayers, send me your well wishes still, because they're very motivating. They uplift my spirits when I read them. I'm like, oh my goodness, you know, yeah, I'm going to do it. I can make it. So anyways, I want to thank you all for your patience in this video if it got kind of long. And I have, let me see what video I have already recorded. I recorded one on meatloaf, and I recorded one on the bread that's not uploaded yet. And so those have already been recorded. So that's going to go up the week before Jada's party, which is next week. Those 2 videos are going to go up. And I did them kind of early because I'm not going to have time during the week before Jada's party, because she graduates that week. She has a whole lot of grad type things and activities that we have to take her to, and then I have to cook for the party. And you know what, my mom constantly calls me with her updated list of guests she's inviting, and it keeps going upwards. But you know what, it's all going to be cool. The people who are coming to the party are the people who have been in my life since I was a teenager. They've seen me have these children. They've been to everything we've had for these children, and it's very befitting that they be here for Jada's graduation. So it's going to be fine. I'm just going to enjoy it. And like I told you guys at the cooking channel, I'm going to try to stream it. I may try to do a test streaming like on Saturday, maybe for 10 minutes or so. On Saturday before the party, yeah, because the party's on a Sunday. So like Saturday the 31st, maybe I try to do a little test streaming thing to make sure I know how to work it. And pretty much I'm very excited for all the upcoming events. It's so sucky that I have to be going through this right before, but you know what? I'm not going to look behind me. I'm going to look at today. What date is today? The 20th, I think, May the 20th. I'm going to look at today that I feel better, that I'm not having any dizzy spells or vertigo, that I'm not having any nausea right now, that I was able to eat. Yesterday was the first day I was able to eat solid foods, and it was so awesome. And basically, I'm not going to sit and weep and cry. You know, I'm just going to move forward and let them figure out what's wrong. And if it is the BPPV, I hope these maneuvers have fixed it. I don't want to lay on my left side to even test it. I'm doing so good. Why chance it, right? Let sleeping dogs lie. And I just wanted to, you know, be in touch with you guys to let you know what's going on and to let you know that I'm doing way, way better today. And thanks for coming along with me on this ride. Thanks for your love and support. And thank you so much in advance for all your wonderful prayers, okay? Be sure to check out my main channel right here on YouTube. It's called The Bear Pantry Show. And also check out my review channel. It's called Bear Pantry Talk.